anything, it's clear to us now than when we even started this campaign that we cannot wait. We cannot wait to include women and girls in our racial justice agenda.
What I'm wanting to understand is, how do you receive and experience the fact that many of these dynamics are coming from people who look like us, people who we see as part of our families, or part of our homes, part of our churches, part of our organizations, and what should we be saying to hold those stakeholders in our lives more accountable? So I think it's important to have the conversation about the institutions, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that affirm and extend the harm. But a lot of the harm also is very close to home. So what do you want to say, or what do you want to be heard from inside of our community about some of these conditions, some of these dynamics?
To say the hard truths and say, yes, you might have suffered, but that doesn't give you the permission to make someone else suffer. And I think we need to create those safe spaces, and leadership here would help do that. A public defender's office could have community meetings where you invite X group of people and say, we're going to talk about this, and you're going to be able to put everything out on the table. And if we can have resources like that coming up, talk to the church, the mosques, these are places that really silence you. We have to understand how religion is used by many different communities to silence us into a certain behavior pattern. We have to confront that head on. And most of these are patriarchal systems.
Yes.
So we have to really confront and say, this is what you're doing by asking me to be quiet so I don't incriminate my brother of color. I'm not helping him in any way, because he's going to perpetuate that again and sometime stand in front of you. Right? We need to stop that flow. So we all need to be creating safe spaces where the police is there, where public defenders are there. I don't know what the judges are allowed to do, probably not. Whatever scenarios, and then have people with the experiences present in those spaces, not just talking down, but talking with. So I hope we can all engage with each other, and that's my hope going forward out of this meeting here today.
Thank you.
Are being targeted. I'm going to say it again. Our black communities are being targeted, and it's the people that we select. That we select. So we have to gather our youth, our 18-year-olds, and let them in on the information. Have community meetings about the people that we are selecting. Because these people that we are selecting is sending us away. From the judges, to the lawyers, to the DAs, city councilmen, all of them is sending us away. And they have no problem with breaking our homes, breaking our communities, and leaving single mothers to raise their sons, their daughters, alone. My mother had to raise me alone with my stepfather. Abusive man, because my father was arrested. It's breaking our families, and it's breaking our communities.
I only want to piggyback off of that and just want us all to take notice of who is not in the room right now. Our city council members are not in the room right now. It is not because they weren't made aware that this was happening. So I just want to put that out on the table, piggyback off of what you just said, making our elected officials accountable.
I'd say anything, I would just say that I represent those of us who stand in the shadows who need to be validated. Some women, young women, are very strong, and they can say, I am here, I'm here to stay, I'm going to achieve something, I'm going to make my mark on this world, but others have to be developed and cultivated. Don't keep disregarding our lives. If anything, create opportunities so that we can receive proper instruction, pay attention. We're present, just have to find us. Sometimes a simple "what's wrong" can change a person's life. I guarantee you that if someone would have said, "Jasmine, what's going on? Why do you look sad?" I would have still been in school. I would have probably went through just like I planned to go through. I would have probably had the life that I had been sketching out since I was a little girl staring at the sky. I was in love with science. I would have probably went very far. The course of my life changed because nobody cared to ask me what's wrong, what's going on, what can I do to fix it. That's it.
I think that we must continue to bring a national focus to the narratives and realities of girls of color, like those that we've heard here throughout the day. We must raise the national consciousness of the nation about the particular ways in which Black girls and women experience school push-out and suspensions, bullying, sexual assault in schools, communities, on college campuses, in the workplace, and other spaces, the ways in which girls and women of color experience incarceration, etc. I think we also have to organize in response to the assault on Black girls and women in the same ways that we organize in response to the assault on Black boys and young men. I'll give an example. The young girl who was assaulted in her school in South Carolina. I just took a moment to try to find her name because I think that it's important to speak her name. I could not find her name. I could find the name of the school in Spring Valley, the officer who assaulted her, Ben Fields, but I couldn't find her name. I think it is important for us to know her name, to find her here in Philadelphia, right? There is a version of her here in Philadelphia, and to organize around raising the consciousness about how young girls and young women like her are just so persistently and consistently failed by education systems and other systems of oppression.
Holding our justice system accountable. That needs to be done to send a message to all of these people here that we're holding people in this high office accountable. How can we expect justice if they're going to have active impunity and not face any consequences, where any one of them, she faced a consequence for writing something on the back of her bathroom door. She lost her position in school. That is nonsense. And I think all of you sitting up here have a responsibility to address how we hold each of you accountable. And when we know something has gone awry, where are your voices to hold all of them accountable? So an organization like ours stood up and asked for that accountability, and then other people joined. I need people in the justice system who are not part of this to stand up and ask for accountability. All of you are sitting here have a responsibility to myself, a friend child over here, that they're not standing here in vain and just giving conversation here. There needs to be action, and you remove those three men, they get an answer that, yes, they were heard, they were held accountable. Thank you.
Exploring different issues and concerns. I'm finding so many different mentalities today. It seems challenging. I don't say hard because the only thing hard is the concrete that we walk on. Everything else is a challenge. So I'm ready for this challenge, and I was built for this. I think that we all have a purpose in life, and mine's going to take on a task that most back away from. That impossible. So people say it's impossible. I see possibilities. I don't see anything as being impossible.